everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be diving into the new collection from Pat McGrath. This is the Bridgerton Part 2, and I did not get Part 1, but I did pick up Part 2. We're going to dive into it. I picked up one of the lipsticks, I picked up the palette, the blush and highlighter palette, and also one of the body shimmers. I'm gonna try on all the products, share my thoughts as I'm trying them on, and then of course you guys know I will definitely be doing lots of swatches and comparisons. I do like to do a lot of comparisons in my reviews because I feel like it's always important to show comparisons so that you guys can decide if it's something you guys want to spend your money on. So let's go ahead and dive into the palette first. So this is called the Belle of the Ball, and it retails for $65. This palette is made in Italy, and it's a limited edition palette that presents 6 Regency era eyeshadows in 5 futuristic finishes. This shade right here is described as a velvety plum matte, and then right here you have a peony pink satin matte eye blush, and then over here you have a luminous pale rose gold highlighter, and an electrifying pair of sparkly astral shades in pastel aqua metallic, this one right here. And then over here is a rose gold astral shade. And this shade right here is described as a deepened chartreuse, which this one I would say is a really beautiful kind of gold, like olive color. Look how gorgeous that shade is. Like seriously, that shade is absolutely stunning on every level. So beautiful. This palette has a lot of special shades and very unique shades. Based on my own personal collection, this palette is definitely more unique. I have to say this right now. This astral shade right here is peach. And I have been wanting a peach astral shade from Pat McGrath for I don't even know how long, you guys. If you guys are new here, I love everything peach. So I have been wanting... I have been wanting that shade for a very, very long time. Let's talk about the blush palette. So this is called the Blushing Delights palette. And the packaging, I will admit, was much bigger in person than I was expecting it to be. I was not expecting it to be this big. I don't know what I was expecting it to be, but it wasn't this big. However, when you open it up, you guys, these blushes are beautiful. This blush palette retails for $60. This is a baked formula. I knew it right away because you can tell by the way it looks. But it's a talc-free formula. So it says on the website that it has a customizable color and glow, multi-dimensional pearl finish, vivid color purity, mistake-proof buildability, and talc-free baked formula. Then we have the Scintillating Diamond Body Shimmer, and I got it in Golden Majesty, but you can also pick it up in Pale Moon, but because I have more of a medium to tan skin, I wanted to get the golden because golden just looks better on my complexion than like a pale pink. Now in this collection, she launched 7 lipsticks. I only picked up one of the 7 shades. These retail for $28. And I picked up the shade Venetian Peach, and I'm wearing it right now with a Pat McGrath lip liner. So these are described as satin shine finish, medium buildable coverage, comfortable weightless creamy texture, cool and warm shades, flatters all skin tones, hydrates and conditions. I loved this peach packaging with this gold bow. Like, it had my name written all over it. So that is what I picked up in the collection. That is all the details on it. Let's go ahead and jump into the try on portion of the video. I'm going to try on all the products, share my thoughts with you guys along the way. Then we're going to get into the swatches and comparisons. And then once we get through that, I will get into my final thoughts. So I will see you guys then. Okay, let's go ahead and jump into this new palette. This palette is really beautiful. And I'm going to be honest with you, I bought this palette because of this shade right here. This shade is beautiful, which is the reason why I'm wearing my seafoam green tank top because it's just so cute. It's one of my favorite colors for the summer. And I love this color. The box is the exact same as the palette. So look how gorgeous that palette is, you guys. Oh my God. I bought this palette for that sea green shade, okay? The only thing that I don't know what to do is how to incorporate those matte shades with that green shade, because you guys know I'm not a super colorful girl, okay? I'm not big on, I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to color, okay? So I'm trying to look at this and think, how am I gonna make this work? The purple and the seafoam green kind of looks pretty together, but I'm not so sure how it's gonna look on the eye, but we're gonna try it, you guys. We're gonna see what we can do. So let's go into that green color and let's put it on the eyelid. So I'm gonna take the Smith 253. I'm gonna apply it dry first so you guys can see what it looks like dry first. This is a shadow that needs to be applied with a finger. Look at that. Hold on, let's see. See what I tell ya. What I tell ya. Right? Oh. She is pretty. Oh, she's pretty. Let's see what this shade looks like over top. Let's go into this one. That peachy shade is so flippin' beautiful. It's gorgeous. It like takes it to it takes that green to another level. Okay, what I'm worried about is going into that purple and making me look like I got a black eye. I almost feel like I need to put something down first because this purple is quite strong and I feel like I need something to put down in the, look at that matte though, right? Like that matte. Yeah, I feel like I need something to put down that kind of mutes the purple a little bit. I think I'm going to use this purple from the Divine Rose palette, the original. I'm going to sweep a tiny bit of that in the crease, just the tiniest amount with a fluffy brush. Kind of use that as the base, and I'm hoping that this will kind of mute and diffuse that strong purple. Because I do not want this look to start looking like I have a black eye. This palette for me is definitely going to be a palette that I wear in conjunction with other palettes. It's not going to be one that I'm just going to fully reach for all on its own. It's just, you know, some palettes are just not that way. So then I'm going to put a little bit of that here on the outer corner just to kind of deepen a little bit. Just to add a little bit of that and kind of bring it together. Now I'm going to take a small brush and I'm going to go into that purple and I'm going to sweep that right here on this outer corner, right up against the brow bone, just focusing it right there. I'm going to take my flat definer and I'm going to grab that purple. I'm going to put it right here on this outer corner, kind of creating a little bit of that dimension right here. And then kind of connecting those. I feel like that light purple from the Divine Rose allowed me to diffuse it without using that dark purple as the main color. Like I could use the dark purple as the depth. I'm going to go directly into this purple right here. And I'm going to bring that on the lower lash line. Focus it right here. It's a very buttery matte. I mean, you guys saw the swatch. This is the softest matte I think I've ever felt from her. That's the old one. That's the old one. You can kind of see it's a little bit patchy, right? This is the new one. Look at that. It's got you can see how it's got a shine to it. It's got more of a shine than her traditional mattes do. It's really, really impressive. For example, this color right here is the color I've been using. See the kick up in this? See how dry it is? Now, don't get me wrong, that color is blending beautifully. It's just a drier formula and it allows for a lot of kick up, right? But this formula has hardly any kick up. It's a different formula. It's got that shine to it. It's really pretty. But I'm going to dip into that light matte, the one in the Divine Rose, and I'm going to put that right here just to kind of soften that up. Then I'm going to take that flat definer from Sigma and I'm going to go back into that dark purple and I'm going to put that right here. Okay, I'm going to go back into that green color and just kind of bring it back to life. Just to make sure that it's nice and vibrant. Okay, so I'm back. I went ahead and finished the other eye, threw on some lashes, but I wanted to try this shade right here for an inner corner, even though it's pink. I mean, why not? So I'm gonna just take a small pencil brush and go into that shimmer And let's put it about right here. Oh, it's pretty. That's a really pretty shimmer shadow. Now, the one thing I gotta say is I am so impressed with this pigment right here, because I don't know if you guys are like me, but I can blend out my eyeshadow on this side pretty easily, but when I cross over and I have to do it on this side, it's a different angle, and I struggle on this side of my eye. And especially when I'm using like dark shadows like that, I get a little bit like, ooh, but this shade in particular is so creamy and so buttery. I, in my opinion, feel like that is one of the best matte formulas from Pat McGrath. Now, don't get me wrong, Pat McGrath has a great matte formula, but a lot of the times her matte shadows are so pigmented that I sometimes struggle. I do. I have to take small little baby steps when I'm working with Pat McGrath mattes. But with this matte, it kind of just blends itself in a very effortless way. Very impressed with that formula. Like, bravo. She nailed it. It's fabulous. I also want to mention that I did put on the lippy. So let's talk about that really quick. So this is called the SatinAllure 495 Venetian Peach. And you guys know I love me some peach. My lips are still a little swollen and healing from getting lip injections. It's been about a week now. It'll be a week tomorrow, but the packaging is really beautiful, and this is what the shade looks like. So that's the shade. Isn't that such a pretty shade? It's so pretty. It's like perfect for the summer, and I am like here for it. So let's move on to the blush palette, but I first want to mention that on Pat McGrath's Instagram page, I was noticing that they were using this shade as a blush. And I can tell you that that shade could totally be used as a blush because it has such a soft pigment to it. It's not a traditional matte. So, I mean, that would be such a beautiful blush. For anyone that didn't want to get the blush palette, that is a nice color. Now, let me tell you guys this. This blush palette is much bigger than I thought it was going to be. This thing is huge. It's as big as my face. This is how it looks compared to the palette. It's a big blush palette. I think it's a little bit too big. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I understand why they had to do it like this. I think it's a little bit bigger than it needed to be, but it is what it is. But these shades feel like they're gorgeous, like baked formula. And of course, I will swatch these shades next to other shades that I have. So let me say this. Even though the packaging is ridiculously big, this is gorgeous. Do you guys see that? Do you see how pretty that is? Wow. Those are some pretty blushes. Ooh, and that highlighter. Oh my God. So I'm a little bit nervous about this because these shades are so pigmented, but we're going to go in, and you guys know I have to go into this shade. Like, it's calling me. It's who I am. You guys, I can't help it. So I'm going to grab a little bit of it. Okay, a lot picks up on the brush. So I'm going to tap off, and let's... I'm going to use this brush from Wayne Goss. This is the number 2. This is a perfect kind of brush to apply this with. So dip in, tap off. Oh, that shade is I mean, it's a lot, you guys, I know. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my powder brush and just softly like buff this out. Look at that. Oh, oh my gosh, that shade is beautiful, right? I'm going to wipe the brush off, and I'm going to go into this shade right here. And let's apply it on this side. Okay, these blushes, bomb. They are amazing. Okay, I am going to throw some bronzer on. I'm going to powder up, and then we're going to put on that highlighter. Okay, so... you guys, that is one beautiful baked powder formula. This kind of reminds me something similar to the Hourglass baked blushes. They blend and kind of just melt into the face. No harsh lines, just gorgeous. Okay, these blushes on a scale from 1 to 5, they are a 10. All day, every day, 10. Pat did it. These are, even though the packaging is a little obnoxious and a little bit much, because you guys, I thought it was going to be smaller than that. I never thought looking at those pictures that it was going to be as big as my damn hand. So even though the packaging is completely, absolutely obnoxious on every level, these blushes are worth the obnoxious packaging because they are phenomenal. She did it. Well done. Okay, so I'm going to use my Sigma tapered highlighter brush, and let's... Ooh, okay, so that's got some glitter in it. You can kind of see some of the glitter particles right here. So for those that don't like glittery highlighters, you might not like this one. It's a baked formula, but it's got a little bit too much glitter in it. In my opinion, I'm not a big glitter girl. I don't like a lot of glitter in highlighter, so that's just me. But it's still a really pretty highlighter. Let's talk about this. So this is called her Scintillating Diamond Body Shimmer. And it's cardboard, okay? All of the packaging is cardboard, P.S. So it comes like this with a little sticky tab like this. For body shimmer, I'm going to grab this brush. This is from Morphe and the collaboration with Ariel. This brush is called A22. So I'm going to dip in like this. And we're going to put some right here. Ooh. That's pretty. Ooh. Ooh, that's pretty. I mean, this is not fully necessary, but it's pretty. See, like I'm just trying to kind of put some here on the chest. That's pretty though, right? So I'm back, and this lippy kind of brought this together, even though I was gonna kind of grab a purple, but I kind of like the peachy kind of pink with the purple and seafoam green. So I grabbed a Pat McGrath lip liner in the shade Buff. And so I went around, and then of course I put on the peachy lipsticks. So this is the final look using the products. Let's go ahead and jump into the swatches. And in the swatches, I'm gonna share swatches of the palette, swatches of the blushes, so that you guys can see how they look. I will swatch them with and without a flash because the flash really lets you see the undertone and stuff. And then of course I will put up some comparisons, so I will compare them to other products that I find that might be similar. And then we will go ahead and get into my final thoughts. So I will see you guys then. Okay, so now that we've made it through the swatches and comparisons, which I do hope that those were helpful, I knew that I really wouldn't have a palette that had these exact shades in it because these are quite unique shades to pair together. So I decided to kind of take the more unique shades that were in this palette and compare them to other shades from Pat McGrath and a few from other brands, just so that you guys could really see if you already have these colors in your collection, because I feel like those shades are the unique shades from this palette. So I do hope that they were helpful, but let me go ahead and get into my final thoughts. I don't think you guys are going to be surprised by this. I love this collection. I haven't been this excited about a Pat McGrath collection in a minute. This palette, the blushes, they're just so unique and so beautiful. I'm kind of obsessed. So let's talk about the palette itself. So yes, this palette for me on a personal level, I probably won't be using these shades together. But when I'm doing a peachy look, I'm going to reach for this Astral shade. Or when I want this really pretty green eyeshadow look, I'm going to grab for this green. It is so beautiful. I don't feel like this palette's going to work for everyone. I feel like you're going to need to love these really pretty unique shades in order to justify the purchase of this. But for me, just on a personal level, loving makeup, I'm all over this and I love it. On a scale from 1 to 5, I feel like it's a 10. Like, this is beautiful. Okay, let's talk about the blush palette. Whew, let's talk about it. You guys know that blush and foundation are probably my two favorite things to test, play with, apply, all of it. These blushes are so incredibly special. It's the best baked blush I've ever used. I thought her other blushes were great. These knock them out of the ballpark. Like, these are unbelievable. They're not only pigmented, but you can blend the pigment into this soft, gorgeous, I mean, I love a baked formula, don't get me wrong. So I'm not surprised that I love these blushes, but you saw in the swatches just how richly pigmented these are, and they blend like a flippin' dream. These are incredible, and I kind of hope that this is going to be like her new blush formula. I don't know. I know it's limited edition, but because this formula is so special, in my opinion, I'm going to be reaching for these all the time, even though the packaging is a little bit big and it's a little bit bigger than I would personally like, because as you get more makeup, you're trying to find room to put stuff. And because it's so big, it might not be one that you're going to have a lot of convenience with because it's just so kind of big and bulky. But these blushes make it worth it. They are incredible. The best baked blush formula I've ever used. She nailed it. These are gorgeous. These are better than the Hourglass baked blushes. These are what luxury makeup is all about. This is on another level of luxury. As far as just the way they apply, the way they blend, the pigment that you get, they're phenomenal. And they're also pigmented, but yet you can blend them out and diffuse them with a little bit of powder. They're just off the charts, off the chain, fantastic. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think that this is fully necessary, even though I do like the shine that it gave the skin. I think this is just kind of a fun little treat as far as the collection goes, but I wouldn't say that this is fully necessary because you could do that with highlighter. You don't really need a body shimmer, but I understand why they did it because of the whole Bridgerton, and you know, I get it. Now, as far as the lippy goes, I'm loving this lip. I think it's so beautiful. It's so hydrating, and since I had a little bit of lip filler put in and my lips are a little bit swollen and my lips have been more dry, so this has been very, very comfortable to wear all day, and it's just a beautiful packaging. I love the peach. I love the color. I am all over this collection. This collection is perfection. It really is. I'm in love with it. I'm curious to hear everyone else's thoughts. Sound off down below in the comment section. Have any of you guys picked up this new Bridgerton Part 2 collection? Let us know in the comment section down below your experience, because you guys, I am so excited. This is what I expect from Pat McGrath. Like, I was excited when I saw the images of it, but actually using them, I am pleased. This is what luxury makeup is all about right here. That's just me though. I'm so curious to hear everyone else's thoughts. So sound off down below in the comment section. Thank you so much for hanging out with me in today's video. I hope you guys all have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys all in my next video. Love you. Bye.